Welcome back. Well, let's continue with the corporate conversations. Now, BSE is the next company on our radar. It has been a big winner in the first quarter this year, up 35% in the last 3 months, witnessing a big swing from about 407 in March to 577, 578 actually today. S. Ramamurthy, MD and CEO of the Bombay Stock Exchange, is with us now to talk about some of the details in the business, a lot of the new innovation that they have been undertaking. Thank you very much for joining in, Mr. Ramamurthy. So let's start by, talking about this recent move, CDSL block, and now, at that 15% mark, which is where you're at. Are you looking to sell any more stake in the depository?
You are right when you stated that there are regulatory requirements on the maximum amount of shareholding which as a stock exchange BSE can have in the depository. So the block deal was to ensure that we are in compliance with the regulatory requirement in this regard. You are perfectly correct there.
Okay, so just to understand this, you sold off around, I think, 4.5%, right? So that would have fetched you about, what, 350 crores? What are you planning to do with the funds? Is there a special dividend, or are you going to reinvest it in the exchange infrastructure?
See, any of these activities in this regard will not be individually decided. It will be subject to the decisions of the board along with the relevant committees in this regard, considering what would be in the best interest of the shareholders.
So volumes of BSE's newly launched weekly options are likely to be affected with NSE's latest move to shift the expiry of the Bank Nifty to Friday from Thursday. What do you make of it, and what is your own assessment of the impact this will have on your business?
So, as you are aware, May 15th, 2023, we relaunched Sensex and Bank S derivatives. We started with a very humble volume of around 50 crores on the first day in terms of the notional value. The volume started picking up because the number of participants have increased, the number of investors have increased. The number of softwares which are providing support to the BSE's equity derivatives platform has increased. Overall, there is a good amount of interaction with the market participants on this product. The product has consistently grown over this last 5 weeks, and on last Friday, as you would have seen, we traded around 57 lakh contracts with a peak open interest of around 3.3 lakh contracts. The product is receiving good amount of attention. 2 weeks before, I guess, there was a circular requirement from NSE where they have shifted the expiry of Bank Nifty to Friday. We need to wait and watch how this turns out in respect of volumes for Sensex derivatives. Post this announcement as well, the volumes in respect of Sensex have not been affected till now. We will not know how, therefore, from June 14, that's what, July 14 is, I think, the date from which the Bank Nifty expiry will be on Fridays. So we need to wait and watch how it impacts the volumes at BSE and how it impacts the volumes at NSE as well. So based on whatever we see as the impact, if there is a need, we have to rework on what our strategy should be in terms of what should be the expiry and what we should go about. At this point of time, we are waiting to see whether the market participants are okay with this shift. If not, is there a probable change? If so, what we should do? If not, what we should do? We are just waiting and watching at this stage.
All right. NSE is launching the SGX Nifty trades from GIFT City in July. That should draw more volumes to the exchange. Can you tell us what are your own GIFT City plans?
We already have an exchange, and we also have a clearing corporation of BSE in the GIFT City. Actually, that was the first exchange to come into existence in GIFT City, and they are doing good volumes in multiple products. The efforts will continue. If the presence of this new venture in GIFT City improves volume, as you say, I am sure the entire ecosystem of GIFT City will be benefited, and it will be in the benefit of the entire nation and will be in the direction of Prime Minister's vision. That will be the duty of every one of us to make it succeed.
Well put, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Good speaking with you. Appreciate you joining in here on CNBC-TV18 with that perspective. Well, the market has crept up 50 points, by the way, which means that once again, new highs are in sight. So keep an eye on that number as well, 887. We're at about 870 right now. The next management we have with us is Gateway Distriparks Parks. It's a logistics major. Kotak Equities, the broker's recent note, has cut its EBITDA estimates for the company by 3% and expects their container freight station business to be under pressure. In fact, Container Corporation has itself cut prices by about 8 to 9% across key markets. To assess the impact on the business at Gateway Distriparks, we have Prem Kishan Gupta, Chairman and Managing Director at Gateway Distriparks, joining in right now. Thank you very much, sir. Good to have you with us here. Let's just start there. The CFS business. What is your own assessment of what FY24 will be like? Do you agree with the Kotak analysts' expectation that that business will be under pressure this year?
Good morning, Prashant. As far as CFS business is concerned, the first 2 months is flat. So we don't expect that we'll go down from here because last year itself the volumes went down in CFS business, and May and June, though exports are less, imports are more. But overall volumes are flat, and we don't see any pricing pressure as of now. But going forward, if the volumes come down, the imports or exim cargo comes down, then of course everyone will get their market share, and then there will be stiff competition. As on date, June might have some lower volumes because of the cyclone effect. The vessels could not rotate themselves, but otherwise everything so far at CFS is good.
So you are not looking to then bring down prices? Can we say that? Are you seeing a lot of competitive intensity in the market?
Yes, the competition intensity has been there for many years now because there's too many CFS and the trade has not grown to that level. But I think we have come to a level where anything lower than this will have impact on all the CFS operators. So I would just say that we would like to maintain the present volumes and the margin, and we don't expect any uptake from here in the CFS business.
All right. So, can you just tell us overall what kind of volume growth are you expecting both in the CFS business as well as overall for FY24? I think the last time you said you're targeting a flat growth in the CFS business, but for the consolidated business, what is the growth looking like in terms of volumes?
See, the rail business is doing well, and in the first 2 months of this year, we are up by about 15%. Again, the split is different, where imports are up by 35% and exports have dipped by 6%. And we will continue with this double-digit growth throughout the year. There's no doubt about that. June, again, it has been affected by a cyclone and some power grid failure. But that does not mean that the volumes of June will go away. The only thing is these will be carried forward in the next month. And we can see good visibility. Exports have, though slowly, but there's an uptick in the exports in some markets. So we still maintain that our growth will be in double digit in the rail business.
Okay, by the way, folks, the market, the Nifty is, I think, just about a few points away from that all-time high. 18,888 is the all-time high, and the Nifty, the distance to the all-time high is less than 15 points. So, well, here we are within kissing distance of those all-time highs. It's just a number, so we're just... we are missing the woods for the trees, really. We are virtually at all-time highs, but just that, momentous moment when you sort of hit that level and conquer it. So we'll keep tracking that for you very closely. Sir, I wanted to understand, you were speaking about volume growth, etc. But this Jaipur ICD terminal will be operational, I understand, from Q3 of this fiscal of FY24. Once that comes through, then what is the kind of jump that we can expect both in revenues as well as in volumes?
Well, Jaipur might be delayed to fourth quarter of this financial year. So this year we won't see much of the volumes coming from Jaipur. But next year it will be a full year of operation. So that is the time when we can expect, additional growth from Jaipur market. So this year we will still like to maintain 15% unless again the EXIM trade grows up, especially the exports. If exports pick up, which we see that to Europe, the exports are down, whereas in North America there's still a small growth in the exports. So exports volume will lead us to say even a 20% growth if exports pick up, because imports are increasingly coming into India.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there, sir. By the way, just one question before I let you go, and this is something which I think we put to you before as well. You recently increased your stake in Snowman Logistics. I think, where do you plan to take it from the current 40-odd% that you own, sir, right now?
Well, you see, Snowman is our business, and people have been saying that it is our investment. But there was one point of time where we wanted to sell it, and the deal could not be consummated because COVID came in. And since then, we have been performing well in Snowman. So, as and when the cash flows allow, we will increase our stake in Snowman. So there's no deadline or something like that that we have to acquire so much to reach a certain level. But definitely, this business is doing well. You must have seen the revenue and EBITDA have grown considerably in the past 3 years. And this company is poised to do well. So we will treat it as our strategic business and not as an investment.
Sure.
So you would want to eventually, with no timelines or anything, would want to fully own it at some point?
It depends on the cash flows. Ideally, we should, but we need some cash at Gateway District Parks to go to that level.
Okay. All right, sir. Got that. By the way, thank you very much for joining in. Good talking to you today. By the way, the grand old index has done it, even as we have our eye on the Nifty, which is still 15 points away from the mark. The Sensex has hit an all-time high. In fact, coincidentally, we were just talking to the BSE head a while back, and the grand old index has, conquered the peak. It's moved forward, and hopefully its, cousin, the Nifty, is going to follow suit as well. Just to put the number in place, 63,588.31. That is the new all-time high on the Sensex, and the day's just begun. So who knows? Maybe we'll see more momentum, and maybe the Nifty will come in and finally join this party.
Oh, absolutely. The party's just gotten started, right? So that's the big headline at the moment. The Sensex has hit a record high. But let's not forget that after 137 trading sessions, the Sensex is back at a record high, which means that it's not really covered too much ground this year. Give and take everything, the Sensex is up just about 5% for the year. So all the action has been beneath the surface, and now the headline index has also hit a record high. Taking you through some of the constituents that have, got the Sensex to this level. A lot of laggards of the last few years have come back in a big way. Case in point, something like an ITC, which is up 40% this year. You have Ultratech Cement, which is up 20% for the year. Power Grid, Nestle, Dr. Reddy's is up 16% for the year. And a lot of the large caps like L&T, etc., making their presence felt this year as well. So it's been a remarkable time. I mean, there's a lot of time correction that this market has seen. And now, sort of, let's see if, we build on to these gains.
I mean, I think we were at these levels in December of last year.
Yeah,
right?
December.
So, from
First December, I think, was the Nifty rally started pretty much, from there.
So the high was 18,887. That was December of 2022. There was a dip all the way. The low was made at about 16,820, which was in March of this year. And from there, we basically had 3 months. This is the third month of non-stop rally. So 50 points is what we have on the Nifty. But the Nifty and Sensex can make new highs. What's important is that portfolios are at new highs as well. And that is also starting to happen, I'm assuming, for many, because broader markets are rallying and they're also sort of putting in a lot of good work. So while large caps continue to do what they are, what matters disproportionately in some senses, especially those who manage their own money, is individual names, mid caps, small caps, etc. Look at individual stocks as well. Look at Z. it's more than making up for the loss yesterday. It was down 6 yesterday. It's up 8% this morning. So back at closer to 187, 188 or so. The other names are still there. I mean, Shriram Finance has cooled off a little bit. It went up to being 15% higher on the day at one point. At the day's high, it's come down a little bit, but still 8.5% rally. And Piramal is up about 10.5% as well. So those still remain the two big gainers that we've been tracking for you. Sonia.
Okay, so that is the big headline at the moment, right? The Sensex, the grand old index, has hit an all-time high. And it's hit that level of 63,580. Now, there are several reasons for this market to reach all-time highs. The economic growth, the macro data has picked up significantly over the last many days and months. There's been a resumption of foreign inflows as well in the month gone by. The corporate earnings have picked up across many sectors. And you've also had relatively stable global cues. So a lot of factors that have, caused the markets to resume and reclaim the record highs. So Mitesh Thakkar is joining in, so let's get a quick word in from him. Mitesh, these are historic times, right? I mean, every time the market hits an all-time high, you get a sense of, that jubilation. You get, there's, of course, this all-around positive feeling. But this time around, the action has been really in the broader market. So, I mean, the mid-cap index has been hitting record highs for a while now. What's your view? How are you approaching the Nifty itself, not just for the rest of the day, but for a slightly longer-term trade?
Yeah, so Sonia, I think you rightly mentioned that the mid-cap index is clearly leading the rally. In fact, I was surprised that we made it an all-time high without the Bank Nifty participating aggressively. I wasn't, honestly, I wasn't hoping it, and that is why we have been, not trading the index. But clearly, the breadth is very, very exciting. I think that's where the breakouts are succeeding. You are seeing stocks move 5, 10, 15% on a daily basis, sometimes for many days in condition. So I think traders should also position themselves with more bias towards the stock side. The good thing is that with the Nifty getting past the earlier highs, I think we can now look at 18,950, 19,000 as the near-term target and maybe 19,250 as a slightly positional target. And till I think yesterday's low of 18,650 breaks, I think the trend will be on the upside. So these counters can be very clearly inculcated in your trading strategy. But trading, as I said, I think is focused on stock-specific basis. The calls that I have right now, a buy on Bank of Baroda and a buy on Sun TV. Bank of Baroda was a recommendation earlier as well. Now would recommend buying it afresh with a stop at 192.5 for targets of 205. And Sun TV is a buy. Keep a stop just below levels of 444 here and look for targets of 465.
Thanks, Mitesh, very much for that. So those are the calls that you could go with. By the way, the reason why today might just be Nifty's day with the all-time high or date with the all-time high is that today you don't have any major sector that's dragging on the way down. Today, banks are finally participating. IT is also doing, its own thing on the upside. Reliance seems to be pretty okay. You don't have, barring metals, which is where the weakness is, you don't have too many big drags. There's some selling in pharma, but that doesn't matter from an index perspective because of the weightage. Reliance is holding up, Bank Nifty is holding up. ICICI Bank, Kotak, these are the two ones which are kind of fence-sitters. So if you pull up three stocks, Infosys and ICICI Bank and maybe a Kotak, these are the fence-sitters. So either of them, give a little bit of a push on the upside. And we know what that means for the index. But anyway, that's about a 23 point.
Since we started talking about all-time highs, the distance has increased.
It's a jinx, Prashant. I think it always comes back in.
We were speaking with Rajiv and we were having a couple of conversations. The market crept up, right? 20 points became 50, 55. So we'll give it a break. We'll address it when it happens. The Sensex has done it. The Nifty, it's almost there. We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back and we have Manisha joining in with all things commodities. So stay tuned for that conversation. And we are back with some stocks you need to focus on as well. Stay with us.
All right, big day for the market. The Sensex has hit an all-time high and reclaimed its all-time high, territory. The distance to the top for the Nifty is less than 26 points. So we're virtually at those levels. But let's take a bit of a breather from equities and talk about the commodity markets now. Manisha Gupta is with us. Manisha, what's the one commodity that you're looking at today?
Sonia, I'm looking at the metal space, and that doesn't seem to be participating in this rally today because we've seen overnight going for a profit-taking for many of these metals. One, the China rate cut at 10 basis points is much lesser than what the street was anticipating, and is the reason you've seen nearly 2% of decline come in for the zinc prices. Almost all metals, including steel, copper, aluminum, fell between 1 to 2%. In last 1 month, we've seen the zinc prices decline by 2.5%, and in last 1 year, 34% of a decline is what we are working with. I'm focusing on zinc because this is very close to its cost of production now. So an all-time high of last year at $4,896 per ton is what we hit. Last month was a 3-year lows at $2,200. Currently, we are trading below $2,400 right now. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the cost of production for zinc is at around $2,200. So we're not too far away from those kind of levels. And zinc clearly has been an underperformer within the metal space. We have seen the sharpest of declines come in for this one. The reason being that you have weak demand, the rising smelter supply. There is weak demand for steel as well. So the galvanizing industry also has seen a big sharp decline there. And that's weighing onto the markets. And then the weak mine profitability also has led to lower production there, especially when it comes to mines. There are various reports on how minings are cutting their production, putting it on maintenance, halting overall production as well. And a couple of these reports clearly are coming in from the Swedish producer Boliden, who's put their Irish operation on hold since June 13th. That is when we saw the zinc prices gain up by 5%, but that was very short-lived. The recent closure comes in for Tara Zinc Mine in Ireland as its cash flow has turned into negative. And these are just a couple of the ones that I am mentioning because these numbers are on the bigger side. But there are a lot of mines which are actually getting shut down right now. This is what we've seen in sense of global treatment charges. This is the price that mines pay to smelters to convert their concentrate to refined zinc. And this price has been increasing over the time. So this clearly has turned not profitable for the mines as well. And is the reason you have seen more raw material, more concentrated zinc than the refined zinc there. The China, in the meanwhile, seems to be stocking up and they are hoarding in more than they really want. So when you look at the production for refined zinc, we've seen 13% of increase in this year. And this is over and above 21% of an increase that we've seen in the first 4 months also. When you look at the LME contracts as well, here also the short positions have continued to grow. 10,000 contracts at shorts right now. So there are new shorts being built up. Even as the commodity is oversold, the momentum still on the weaker side.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. So that's commodities in focus. Now, Prime Minister Modi, on the first day of his state visit to the US, met members of the Indian diaspora in New York, who greeted him with vibrant celebrations, including music and folk dance performances. The Prime Minister also met key US CEOs and thought leaders, including the Tesla chief Elon Musk, who believes India is a great ground for solar energy investment. He remains optimistic about announcing an investment in the country very soon. Prime Minister Modi also met prominent investor Ray Dalio, physicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, and financial market analyst Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
I think there's a tremendous amount of potential for all three pillars of the sustainable energy future. The three pillars being sustainable energy generation through solar and wind primarily. And obviously India is great for solar. The amount of land area you actually need to generate enough electricity to power India is very small. I believe it'd be probably 1 or 2% of the land area of India. So it's very doable. And then you need to pair that with stationary battery packs because the sun doesn't shine at night. And then you need electric vehicles. And then you have a sustainable energy future. And I think it will, the interesting thing people will find is that this is a lower cost way to go as well. That may surprise people. And we're also hopefully looking forward to bringing Starlink to India as well. The Starlink internet, which I think can be incredibly helpful for sort of remote or rural villages where they perhaps may have no access to internet or the internet is very expensive and slow. He did. Yes, I'm tentatively planning to visit India again next year.
Prime Minister Modi is a man whose time has come at the time that India's time has come. The potential of India is enormous, and you have now a reformer, a radical reformer, who has the ability to transform it and the popularity to transform it. So I think India and Prime Minister Modi are at a juncture in which there's going to create a tremendous opportunity, tremendous changes in India that are going to be really startling.
Okay, that's the big event underway, Prime Minister Modi in the US. And through the course of the day, of course, we'll be getting you snippets of all the conversations that are taking place there. For now, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we have a special segment. It's the economy. Don't go anywhere. Lata will get chatting with Dipali Goenka of Wellspun India and Ajay Sahai of Federation of Indian Export Organization to talk about the export data for the month of May. Stay tuned.